Hi, my name is Daniela Miranda, and I have prepared this video to educate individuals on the prevalence of cancer in the Hispanic community and possible opportunities for future research in this field. To begin, just a quick review about what cancer is. Cancer is a disease in which the cells of the body begin to divide uncontrollably and spread into the surrounding tissues. Cancerous tumors are considered malignant, which signifies the spread or invasion of nearby tissues. Cancer is a genetic disease. That is, it is caused by changes to genes that control the way our cells function, especially how they grow and divide. Genetic changes that cause cancer can be inherited from our parents. They can also arise during a person's lifetime as a result of errors that occur as the cell divides or because of damage to DNA caused by certain environmental exposures. Cancer-causing environmental exposures include substances such as the chemicals in tobacco smoke and radiation, such as ultraviolet rays from the sun. Hispanics, which, for the purpose of this video, I am using the term to describe both Hispanics and Latinos living in the United States, are the fastest growing major demographic group in the U.S., predicted to rise from 15% to 30% of the U.S. population by 2050. Hispanic Americans are Americans who are descendants of people from Spain or Spanish America. The term Latino is a noun and an adjective often used in English and Spanish to refer to people in the United States with cultural ties to Latin America, in particular to those countries which are Spanish or Portuguese speaking. Interestingly, although cervical, gallbladder, liver, and gastric cancer are more prevalent in the Hispanic population in comparison to non-Hispanic whites, Hispanics have about a 50% lower incidence rate than non-Hispanic whites for lung cancer. The cause for concern, however, still arises due to the fact that there is a substantially greater proportion of never smokers with lung cancer in Hispanics than in non-Hispanic whites, leading to the belief that the risks for lung cancer are different for Hispanics. This significance could contribute to possible future research regarding the possible risks for cancer. Future research could focus on why this underserved population is facing these scary statistics. Personally, I always assumed that if I never smoked, I would never get lung cancer, an idea I now realize is not possible. So, this statistic that people who have never smoked in their life are still facing the same consequences as an individual who has smoked leaves me baffled. It raises the question of, are we looking at the wrong risk factors? Is smoking as prevalent of a risk as we previously thought? What makes the Hispanic population more susceptible to lung cancer despite the lack of exposure? These questions leave room for further research. Hispanics generally have low participation rates in cancer screenings and other prevention programs. This emphasizes the importance of understanding the potential risk factors for this underserved population. The likelihood of receiving screening varies according to socio-demographic characteristics. This includes factors such as national origin and access to health care. In a nationally representative sample of Hispanics, those from Mexico, Central America, and South America were less likely to receive cancer screenings relative to other Hispanic subgroups. Smaller studies reported similar patterns, with the lowest screening rates typically found among Hispanics from Mexico and the highest amongst Hispanics from Cuba and the Dominican Republic. As a future healthcare provider, I hope to see more use of preventative screenings in all populations, not just the underserved. However, with the research provided, I believe the majority of advertisement for these protection screenings should target those populations who use it the least. Lung cancer is the third most common cancer in Hispanic men and women and is the leading cause of cancer death among Hispanic men and the second leading cause among Hispanic women. The patterns of lung cancer incidence and mortality reflect the pattern of tobacco smoking in the same population decades earlier. In general, Latin American countries have a lower prevalence of smoking compared with the United States. The prevalence of current smokers in the U.S. adults has been lower in Hispanics than in non-Hispanic whites. In a case-control study from New Mexico, the risk of lung cancer did not differ between Hispanics and non-Hispanic whites after adjustment for amount of smoking. However, an analysis of the multi-ethnic cohort study suggested a lower susceptibility to tobacco-related lung cancer in Hispanics compared with non-Hispanic whites, possibly related to differences in variants of genes involved in DNA repair. Data on other risk factors for Hispanics are very limited, particularly among never smokers. Another prevalent cancer associated with the Hispanic population is breast cancer. Breast cancer is the leading incident cancer and leading cause of cancer death in Hispanic women. A study concluded that Hispanic women are more likely to be diagnosed at later stages and with larger tumors, and they are 20% more likely to die from their breast cancer than a non-Hispanic white women. The study attributed these findings to possible inadequate health insurance coverage. Inadequate coverage leads to differences in screening, such as how often and at what age the individual receives their screenings. As mentioned before, the prevention screenings play an important role in the progression of the disease. If caught early enough, there are higher chances of surviving. The importance of mentioning that Hispanic women are more likely to be diagnosed at later stages and with bigger tumors can be attributed to the lack of healthcare coverage and lack of prevention screenings. Cancer studies focused on the Hispanic population are essential because this population represents a major, fast-growing, and understudied segment of the U.S. population. The first discussion question is, considering the risk factors for Hispanics and non-Hispanic whites in regard to lung cancer, what factors could possibly contribute to this statistic, and how would you solve this discrepancy? The second discussion question is, what changes would you make as a future healthcare provider to increase the use of prevention screenings? Thank you again for watching.